I was on the air the other day when you guys won at Swindon, and we were talking about just this little period of the results appearing to turn around. I know there's been a feeling the performances have been there for a while. How much did that win, and how much has 3 away wins in a row built a bit of belief and confidence, and I suppose giving you something tangible to go with those performances?
Yeah, I think like you've just alluded to, it builds confidence, and I think that's important in football. But I think it builds resilience and a bit of understanding within the group that, you know, we're not where we should be. We're a good team. We're capable of climbing the league, and yeah, that's all well and good saying it. But I think the results is like a bit of evidence that that is the case. So it's huge to get the win, even in the circumstances as well. I think it added a little bit extra to it. The weather was atrocious. Going 2 up and probably should have been 3 or 4 up by the time they scored, and then we conceded a few sloppy goals. But it's the reaction, even in other games, I think the reaction's been there. But like you say, you need the results to back up what you're feeling, for the outside and for the inside.
Why do you think it's been away from home that things feel like they've fallen into place a bit?
It's hard to say. I think under normal circumstances you'd say there's a bit more pressure at home, but honestly I've loved playing at home this season. The crowd have been so understanding of the position we're in, and I think they can see the effort we're giving, and they've got right behind the team in every single game. I haven't heard one groan or one bit of discontent from the terraces. I think that the atmosphere they've created, and we've felt that as a team, that everyone's really together here, and we've got something good that we can use to go forward. So I wouldn't say it's that. I just think it's probably that we've been a bit more clinical away from home, and maybe teams come out a bit more, and there's more space to exploit. Not to say we haven't had a chance at home, because we have, and we've probably missed some, but I'd say we've just been a bit more clinical away from home.
You mentioned the impression that this place and the fans have made on you, obviously coming into the club, as so many players have done this season. Does that add a bit of motivation? It doesn't, as you say, necessarily add pressure, but does it make you want it all the more to win games at home to reward the majority of your fan base?
Yeah, 100%. I think as a professional footballer, you always want to win football games, but I've been blown away by how supportive the crowd's been, considering we didn't win for 10 games, whatever it was. And I had a period when I was injured for 6 or 7 games, so I sat in the crowd, and I felt it when I wasn't on the pitch. I was in the crowd with them. So I've been so humbled by how good the support has been. So yeah, like you say, you do want to reward that. I mean, the long trips to Worthing and on Saturday, it gives you a bit of a proud moment knowing you've sent the loyal support home with 3 points or in the next round.
Even when, like the last home game, they're staging a protest and they're making themselves heard with their discontent at the situation off the pitch, how much did you still feel that support? Even when you sat in the stand, as you say, and you're not playing, how much do you feel that? Is there a sort of dynamic between the players and the fans here?
Yeah, I think it spurred me on. The fans here love the football club, and that's what a football fan is. They live and breathe Morecambe Football Club, and they want their football club to be in the best footing possible. You've seen it many times over the past few years of football clubs going under and not existing anymore. And I say this, I've been so surprised since I've walked through the front door of how well run the club is internally, and how well it comes together on a Saturday afternoon, and what it means to the people. So like I say, I know the stuff above isn't what it should be, and the fans have every right to feel the way they want to feel, because like I said, it's their football club, and they live and breathe it, and I'm sure they die for Morecambe Football Club. So I think it's inspiring for us on the pitch to see that.
How much can the FA Cup provide a real reward for you guys? Obviously the chance to get to round 3 and maybe get one of those big ties, but also the prize money, the potential TV money in the next round, the impact that could have on the club and the fans.
Yeah, it's huge. You see it at a lot of levels, probably lower down than us, where it sets clubs up for years to come. Like you said, there's potential of a big tie next round. The pressure's off us this Saturday. We can go and attack it. We obviously want to win like every other game, but let's go and attack it together as we always do, and see where it goes.
Having been overwhelming favourites in round one away to a non-league team, it's now a team from your division at home that you didn't play that long ago. I think it was only a couple of months ago. Does that change the dynamic, or do you have to have the blinkers on and the mindset has to be completely the same?
Yeah, I think it's just take every game as it comes. We want to win football games because, like we said before, it breeds confidence and resilience that we can use it to take into Tuesday. So we just want to win every football game we play in. There's obviously benefits from FA Cup that are different to getting 3 points in the league, but it's a game of football that we want to win.
What have your FA Cup experiences been like? Are there any highlights on there?
I beat Ipswich before, knocked Ipswich out. They were League One at the time, but the Premier League now. And I scored last year, which is a rare thing for me. I had a couple of shots last home game, and so it's something I'm getting closer to. So hopefully I can add another FA Cup goal.
Do FA Cup games feel different? Do they stand out in your memory because they're the FA Cup?
I think they do when you play in a team that isn't in your league. I've always found that, like, that, even back to my first FA Cup game, I was at Gateshead. We played a local team from down the road, which was a mad coincidence, and that was a proper FA Cup day. Whereas when you play teams like we're playing on Saturday in Bradford, obviously a big team, and they'll bring a big following, but I just think that maybe doesn't have the FA Cup feel to it as much, but like I've said, it's a game of football that we're desperate to win. And
I guess the motivation is the chance of another FA Cup tie that does have that feel if you can get through.
Yeah, the motivation for me would be Newcastle away. That would be the motivation for me, so that would be a dream tie. But like you said, stranger things have happened. It's just about doing your job and seeing what comes of it.
And in recent seasons, this club's been to Chelsea and been to Tottenham and had those experiences in the FA Cup. I'm sure staff and supporters and people around the place talk about that as being a great experience. Can that also be a bit of a carrot, a bit of a motivation?
Yeah, I think definitely for the fans. I think it's a massive day out for the fans. You do see sometimes you get drawn away at big places and you're on the end of a hiding, so you kind of, the build-up's better than the actual game when you go to places like that. But for the fans, I'm 100% sure that they deserve a day out like that, so they'll be in the forefront of our mind when we're playing.
Just on you, Tom, how's it been for you coming into Morecambe, and you mentioned being sidelined with injury for a little while, but I said to Matt, your press officer, before you walked in, you've got an interesting CV. You've played at lots of different levels.
Yeah.
You've had lots of different experience in football. How have you found coming in here and the circumstances at Morecambe?
Yeah, like you said, I think I've got a fair, balanced opinion on football. I've been at the lower levels. I've been at a high level, championship level. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind career for me. I just wanted to find somewhere where I could settle in and play football matches, and I'm so grateful I made this decision. Regardless of the league position, I think the football club is a brilliant place to come into work. It's a good set of fans to represent on a Saturday, and I love playing here, and long may it continue.
You mentioned that sort of championship level, and obviously going out on loan and getting appearances here and there. How important is it to be at a club, playing for that club, and that being your sort of world, rather than, it must be really strange being a player at one club but actually playing for someone else?
Yeah, I think a loan has its benefits, but I think it's got to fit like a glove if it's going to work. Maybe in my time I've probably not hit the panic button, but probably was too desperate to go out and play football, and maybe push for something that wasn't quite right for me at the time. But it's nice to be settled at a club where you know you're wanted and you're valued, and you can see a future there. I think that's important for a player's well-being on the pitch and also well-being off it as well.
And I guess, to go back to where we started, having started to get some of those results in the league and obviously this FA Cup opportunity, that must be really satisfying, that not only are you here and you're a Morecambe player and you feel wanted and you're getting game time, but you're actually starting to see some sort of fruits of your labour.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's why, like I've said before, it's why we come in to work to win football matches. Like the being a professional footballer tag isn't something I don't really care about. That I'm here to win football matches, and I enjoy representing people who work hard during the week and coming to watch the football and watching us reflect what they've done in the week and hopefully work just as hard. So I think that's what I love about being a footballer the most is you have the chance to make people happy on a Saturday and to make people proud of where they come from.
I'm really interested in that. It's probably not Lamborghinis and trips to Dubai in the international break when you're a professional footballer in League Two, is it? But it's still a great job. It's still doing something that loads of people would want to do. That motivation that you've got there.
Yeah.
Does that add pressure to you? The fact that you feel like you're representing these people.
It can do when like I said, when you're bottom of the league and you haven't won a game, there's a lot of pressure. But it's also a privilege to have that responsibility on your shoulders. Like you said, there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of kids that I've probably rubbed shoulders with who wanted to be a footballer from when I was 5, 6, 7, and it's not always as glitz and glamour as you've just said. It's not the cars and the holidays and the stuff like that. It's for me, what I value is that 3 o'clock on a Saturday where you've got a chance to show your personality and who you are and hopefully reflect the people in the stands as well.
And you mentioned the formative days for you playing for Gateshead and your experiences in non-league. Do those kind of clubs, does this club have that feeling of being part of the community, perhaps more than bigger clubs with multi-million pound budgets are?
Yeah, 100%. I think the thing about Gateshead's a big place, but because you've got Newcastle over the river, everyone supports Newcastle. But you get a brilliant football club who has a core set of fans who follow you up and down the country, and again, that's whether you're making 200 people happy or 2,000, you're still in a privileged position. So I think this football club has got that feel probably more than I've felt in a lot of clubs because of it. It's been up in League One, it's been down in the National League. They probably know how much of a roller coaster it is. So I think they stick with the lads on the pitch, and like you say, it's a pleasure to play for Morecambe Football Club.